this is Trinity, and you're listening to Esoteric Truth Radio. So, I want to cover something that's been discussed, kind of, but not as much as it should be. And that's the coalition between the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Labor. So, this is pretty much how most authoritarian countries do this, where they get your children at a very young age, they mold them. Not that school hasn't always done that, it always has. But that they're being so direct on exactly what it is they plan on doing. So let me read a little bit for you from the Department of Education. So it says here the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Labor are merging into a single agency. So on January 15, 2006, the ED and DOL announced steps to further coordinate their operations. This will include staff integration. Employees of the Department of Education's program will work with the Department of Labor to streamline grant management and coordinate federal education initiatives. So the grant solution transition. The Department of Education grant management system will transition to align with DOL's existing systems, facilitating a more cohesive approach to managing education and workforce programs. So here's the goal of the partnership: aligning educational programs with workforce needs, creating a unified approach to training and employment initiatives, reducing administrative burden on states managing these programs. And you already know what that means, right? That means they're going to take teachers out of the schools, and then they're going to put people from the Department of Labor that are specifically trained to manage your child's education, less on reading, less on math, more on hands on training, right? So the continued operations. Both departments will maintain the distinct identities and operational framework. We know that's bullshit. So overall, while there are substantial efforts to create a more synchronized and efficient system between ED and DOL, they remain separate entities focused on enhancing educational outcomes in tandem with workforce development objectives. We know that that's a lie. That's a straight up lie. All right. So here's the fun part. I wanted to know at what groups, age groups, right? Because I was like, well, I figured they're going to go preteen probably, and then maybe high school. Well, no. So the programs affecting early childhood education may be influenced indirectly through initiatives that promote workforce readiness starting at younger ages. That is ages 3 to 5. Then we got K through 12. High school students ages 14 to 18. A significant focus will be on high school students, particularly regarding career and technical education or CTE programs aimed at preparing them for employment and vocational training. And then we have post secondary education 18 and over. So, adults and young adults, the primary target is individuals pursuing higher education, vocational training, or workforce development programs. While the initiatives will significantly impact students in high school and beyond, the broader implications for K through 12 education may introduce direct changes, but could enhance career readiness approaches across all educational levels. How is that not fucking terrifying? That's terrifying. So we have the key programs involved: adult education and workforce development. So adult education and family literacy programs funded under the Title II of the Workforce Initiative and Opportunity Act, which is WIOA. These programs aim to improve the literacy and skill levels of adults, helping with job placement and career advancement. So this is what I get from that. Adults that are already in the workforce should already know how to read and should already have skills. Now, what I think they're going to be able to do, or what they plan on doing, is take them from those places and put them in other jobs that are more vocational. You know what I mean? Remember when he said that? I think it was him. It was somebody on his behalf that was talking about they want to move companies here and then get Americans to work on chips. Just lines of people. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to take adults from their already higher positions and then put them into these companies and require them to work on factory lines. And then you have Carl D. Perkins Center and Technical Education Act. And the Department of Labor will administer CTE programs to better align vocational training with current job market demands, ensuring that graduates have the skills needed for employment. Again, most people that go to school, when you graduate, you already have you went to school for a very particular skill. They're saying you can do that all you want, but you're going to fulfill the employment opportunities that they feel you need to be placed in. So they also have school emergency responses to violence, national safety, national activities, which is pretty much, I'm sure, shooter drills and all that other good stuff that we have here in the country, which is terrifying, but we already know that that's how it is here. So here's what I feel like they're going to be able to do, and they're going to do it rather quickly. They're going to be able to close down these places, take your children, and either I think they're either going to take them into different facilities where they're in larger groups and easier to teach, which I think would be mostly AI generated. And with all the facilities that we're opening up here, all the AI places, I think they're going to take the people with higher education, right? That would be people that just came out of college or have already been to college, and they're going to put them in those facilities where they're going to be able to work on the AI. And then the people that have to build AI, whether it's computers or it's the chips or it's to make phones, any of that, the people that are 18 and a little bit older than that are going to be the ones sent there. And then while we're thinking the little kids are safe, no, they're teaching the little kids 3 to 5, and then K to 12, especially between the ages of 14 and 18. They're going to teach them to do the exact same thing. So the whole purpose of this is to make worker bees, not individuals, not people that want to pursue something that they love. No, no. They're going to train people in the Department of Labor to teach our children. They're going to pull teachers out, probably put them in facilities where it would be easier to relearn or get certified in a Department of Labor position as opposed to teaching, you know, basic, what is it? Basic education. It's already that we don't do any of that. We kids don't know how to read, kids don't know how to do math. They started Common Core, which, if you really think about it, most parents, when Common Core came out, my kids were already much older and didn't have to learn Common Core. But a lot of the complaints was, why are you making things so difficult for kids? If you think about it now, if you think about it now, Common Core skills would have to be something that would be able to be used in some kind of computer program or just it's just learning the basics on how to do an extremely complicated job, but it would have to be something that would be extremely useful. So forcing them to learn like this is the same way as forcing them to learn code. So that's going to be fun. So I really, really, really think that this is going to get very much out of control. This might explain a lot of the buildings that are being kept. If you're listening to my last episode, I was telling you about how many people deport, how many people have self-deported, and how we're rounding up people in this country at this point. Somebody's going to have to fill these giant AI databases. Somebody's going to have to fill it. Somebody. You know who they're removing from that job market and people are self deporting? People that cannot understand English or do not speak English. That makes complete sense. Get the other worker bees out because nobody wants to retrain them. Nobody wants to start some kind of a course that starts with ESL. So keep an eye on it. I'm going to probably do some more shows about it as it begins to grow, but that explains the facilities, that explains Common Core, and that explains why most kids from the ages of kindergarten up into high school and into college really do not have basic education for reading, for writing, for doing basic math. I know now they don't even have social studies. So it's this whole thing. Anyway, this is Trinity. You're listening to Us is Ever Truth Radio. I will be back a little later on today. And follow, like, share, and comment. And I will talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.